Welcome back to my YouTube channel, guys. In today's video, we'll be looking at self-confidence and self-talk in teenagers and youngsters, which is a much needed pep talk as well as a good motivational video. The teenage years can be particularly difficult to navigate. Hormones are raging and a myriad of physical and emotional changes are taking place. A teenager's sense of self can be especially vulnerable when subjected to criticisms or threats in the following areas: physical looks, academic grades, personality types, introversion versus extroversion, financial standing, social class, and status amongst their peers. However, all is not gloom and doom during adolescence. These are mere negative aspects of what is truly a transitional, joyous, and youthful phase of one's life. Teenage is a period of time when one discovers oneself, hidden talents, forming new friendships, and assuming greater independence and autonomy from parental control. In fact, teenage is a wonderful opportunity for teenagers to put in effort at what they are good at and what comes naturally to them. This sustained effort could lead them to the path of excellence in their chosen fields. It could become their lifelong career or hobby. Forming friendships are an integral part of teenage social life. As someone once said, man is a social animal. He needs the company and camaraderie of fellow beings to feel connected and loved by others. Social networks offer companionship in times of stress and distress and are very soothing and comforting when chosen wisely by the judicious and discerning teenager. Another advantage to be accrued from reaching maturity is the accompanying independence and self-reliance that one enjoys during teenage. Some parents may choose to give a little bit more freedom to their teenager now that he or she is no longer their little child. This could be a golden opportunity if utilized wisely by the teenager. Making mistakes during teenage is to be treated as part of a learning process and not to be frowned upon. Instead, one can realize one's fullest potential only through trial and error situations. However, teenage is definitely not a bed of roses for some. One might be teased and bullied for being unfortunate in the looks department. Poor self-image and body image may ensue. They may develop a distorted view of themselves in the eyes of others and magnifying their perceived flaws and shortcomings. The mass media does little to help. It perpetuates the ideal standards of beauty as an objective criterion. The result is this: many teenagers suffer in silence and develop eating disorders, self-harm, attempting suicide as a consequence of depression. Some may even resort to extreme and drastic measures like cosmetic surgery to correct or modify their flawed features in the name of self-enhancement. In the process, their self-worth and self-confidence takes a blow. Victims of cyberbullying may suffer in silence as their hackers or bullies torment them online. The anonymous bully cannot be tracked down or identified in the virtual world of social networking sites. Hence, bringing them under the eye of the law or stopping them may be difficult. Hence, cyberbullies may go unreported, posting offensive comments and photographs of them online can force the victim to live in shame and keep a low profile in public. Academic excellence is yet another benchmark for gauging a teenager's sense of self-esteem. While academically brilliant students may develop a superiority complex that they are smarter than others, their less academically inclined peers may tend to suffer from an insidious form of inferiority complex, whereby they internalize labels that teachers, parents, and peers impose on them, such as being stupid or lazy. These do not fade with time. In fact, they gain a strong foothold in their minds as they grow older and become entrenched false beliefs about self. They may fail to notice or improve their other talents as a result of the education system prizing academic performance above all other qualities. Another aspect of worry and negative feelings is their personality type. Introverted and shy teenagers may be picked on by bullies and made to feel small due to their reserved nature. In stark contrast, more extroverted peers may excel in leadership roles, fueling inferiority complex in the introverted peers and a more superiority complex in the extroverts. A lack of social skills can also hinder romantic relationships from blossoming in the teenage. This rips any potential relationships in the bud and makes one feel even more isolated. Introverts tend to bottle up their negative, pent-up emotions and explode one day, which could prove disastrous for their emotional and psychological well-being. Last, but certainly not the least, a teenager's ascribed financial status and social class may affect his standing amongst his peers who sport branded goods and expensive apparel. A lower working class teenager may feel left out and unable to compete in the situation and feel a sense of alienation as a result of his non-middle class background. This in turn affects how much popularity and fame one earns in their social circle and impacts who gets invited to whose parties and who hangs out or forms cliques with whom, who dates whom, etc. Social background indeed has a snowballing and rippling effect on a teenager's social life. Consequently, studies have revealed that psychological illnesses such as depression and nervous breakdown from stress are commonplace in the developed world, where people tend to lead highly stressful lives. Research has shown a correlation between burnt out individuals and mental illnesses such as bipolar, schizophrenia, and other personality disorders. To cope with the stress, teenagers should make time for a healthy school-life balance, socialize with family and friends, engage in their favorite pastimes or hobbies, and take time to rest adequately. Such are the joys and pains of the wonderful yet tumultuous period known as teenage or adolescence, when one is neither considered a child nor an adult fully. This interim phase is replete with changes of all kinds, some of which cause joy and some of which cause distress. Nonetheless, there are a plethora of opportunities to grow and learn as an individual. It is up to the individual how he or she ultimately allows or prevents the blows to their ego in the above mentioned areas to get to their inner psyche and affect them either positively or negatively. Okay, thank you guys. See you in my next video. Bye.